Hello Facebook ads people, I'm Konstantinos and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hi guys, it's podcast 119 and in this podcast today we're going to analyze mostly about the crazy method. Why? Because it's relevant again, but I will give you more details in a little bit, so be patient. Secondly, we have some questions, not way too many because a lot of you're already on vacation, but I'm still working, preparing for the Q4. Apart from that, let's start with this thing over here. So now there was a new message that appeared. Actually, I have seen this message in one of the chosen 5 sessions. And I said, what is this? I've never seen it. Basically, it's another way for Meta to tell you that it says help, you have new account recommendations. It appears on the bottom left corner now. This is something that we haven't seen recently to happen as a pop-up window and message. We've analyzed your account and found new opportunities to improve performance. See them now, get started, blah, blah, and having all of these options that you can go and check the different things that they're proposing, like the opportunity score or the other things that they had. I found it interesting, so I said that I was going to mention it here. First of all, before we start with the main topic, a couple of things that I need to say is that for all of you that you are watching this podcast on YouTube, there is also the paid version of the other half. So after some time, not since the beginning of the podcast, but after some point, I started splitting it in two and having some of your questions on the second part, which was paid. What you can do is by paying $20, I think this is the price, you can go and you can now see all the previous videos together. So a lot of times people just go and they just join for 1 month. They see all of the videos and stuff. It doesn't have to be a subscription, but with just $20, you can see so much more content. Another way, of course, for you to see more content is my Facebook ads course and my new, I can say that it's the best Facebook ads course in the world. It has been completed. The people that they are actually watching it, they love it. It's huge. It's very big. This is what I was discussing yesterday with my video editor, that if I knew how big it was going to be, maybe I was going to be intimidated. But we were protected from the fact that we didn't know what we were getting into. So we fixed a huge course, which I think it's an overkill, but as I said, I wanted to create something which I was going to be proud of, and I am proud of this course. This is true. I still update it with some things and videos that I find important. For example, I'm going to upload on September, I'm going to upload a video about the whole strategy that you should have on Black Friday, for example. So it's going to be super updated. I'm adding also more Loom videos and recordings from sessions from my chosen 5 programs when there are interesting videos about mostly CBO optimization, especially now that the topic for today is CBO optimization, not CBO, crazy method basically coming back to be one of our main strategies. CBO optimization is relevant again, so people are going to start needing it more, and I introduce more videos of CBO optimization from my students and how I teach them to do crazy method and optimize with CBO, what's average results and all of that in their ad accounts. And I think that you're going to find those useful. If you're a beginner, there are a lot of videos with theory and whiteboard and stuff explaining everything, so that you can go from the beginner stuff to the super advanced stuff, even cost caps. That's it. You can go from the link on the description and you can check the course, and if it's a good fit for you, you can check also my free course and see if you like my English, how I say things, all of this kind of stuff. And if you think that it's going to benefit you, I know that's going to benefit you, but if you also think of it, go and pull the trigger, especially now that Q4 is coming. Today's topic. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the crazy method. So the crazy method is a very old strategy of mine. I will explain what it is. Basically, it's when I was testing on a CBO campaign, and basically the crazy method was created after the CBO came to our lives. So before, we didn't have the CBO, campaign budget optimization, the campaign that we're just adding the budget and the budget is being distributed to the different assets. We had only ABO. And to be honest with you, when the CBO came out back in the day, it wasn't working very well. It was bad. The only thing that I have seen working immediately in the platform, by the way, is the ASC campaigns, the advantage shopping campaigns, the ones that now with the new UI Meta has actually removed. So the fun part is that it didn't work really well, but after some point with CBO, you started putting several assets and stuff, and it was working pretty well, much better than ABO, and you were having much better results. So this is the point that I came up with a crazy method. I'm not saying that I'm the only person in the world that has thought of it, but I'm not seeing it on other accounts, or when I see it, it's being called crazy method, so I know that they have seen it from me. I don't know if there are other people that they're doing it. Sometimes people say, yeah, I'm doing also crazy method. I ask them what they're doing, and they're doing something different than they think that's crazy method. But anyway, first things first. Why CBO was a very big thing for Meta? Because we have a very big problem in Meta. People don't understand budgeting and don't understand budgets, and they don't understand that the budgets are daily, they reset and all of that. First things first, budgets are daily, they're resetting. That means that if you're just spending $1,000 in 300 days, Facebook doesn't spend for the fact that you spend in total $1,000. It cares about the fact that you have spent X amount of money every day. So it's like when you're spending 100 per day, it's like you are asking and you want $20 cost per purchase, for example, with this. It's like you are asking from Meta a specific thing every single day. Now, if your cost per purchase is, for example, for something which is having high value, 300, and you're spending 100, it's like you are asking from Meta every single day to give you not the cost per purchase that you want, it's 300 for example, and you're spending 100, then that means that it's like you're asking for Meta to give you every day $3. And so on. Let's do another example. Let's say, for example, that you have a cost per purchase of 50, okay, and you're spending 40 on your budget. It's like you're asking from Meta to give you a cost per purchase with 40, okay, instead of 50. So when you're seeing the budgeting and then it goes and it becomes even more complex with number of assets, but we're going to talk in a little bit about it. So when you see the budgeting, people were always bad at doing so. I have one example which I really love to use. For example, when I was explaining in the course inside the thing about the learning phase, and I was saying, for example, if you're having $100 a CBO, let's say that you're having inside two assets and you're having one sale on each, you're getting 50 and 50. And then you're increasing with the 20% rule, which is not going back to the learning phase, despite the fact that you have never passed the learning phase. But let's say that you're not experienced, that you're just following a guru that is telling you to scale with 20% and you don't understand what you're doing and you're just using the 20%. If you're going to put instead of 100 to 120, then your cost per purchase is going to become 60 and 60, because it's not going to be 3 sales, for example, to become 40, 40, 40 for 3 sales. It's going to be again 2 sales, most likely, with 60 each. The correct move over there is to see your cost per purchase, your average cost per purchase that you're getting, which is 50, and say, okay, I'm not going to increase it with 20, I'm going to increase it with 50. For some people, it might sound crazy that you're increasing by 50, which is a lot if you see it as a percentage, but it makes sense if you see it as an average cost per purchase. On the other hand, it doesn't make sense to increase by 20 because, as I said, the budgets are daily and basically you're going to make your cost per purchase even higher because it doesn't have enough money to give you another sale based on the results that it has until that point. So the problem that Meta was finding all the time is that in ABO, people were just putting budgets like $5, $10, and maybe this wasn't enough for an ad set to actually have sales and start having results and start the optimization and all of that. And then they said, what if we tell them, give us 5 ad sets and give us a budget, the total budget that you have for the day, okay? And we will do the rest. Because apparently you are very bad at putting budgets to the different ad sets. And then CBO came and made things easier because people couldn't understand how they should budget. And basically this problem has been solved with the CBO, which was doing this. But then things became more complex because yes, in theory, this is what you want to do. But on the other hand, it's not going to be always correct. There are going to be ad sets that they will take budget for no reason and stuff. And this is where the complex thing comes, which is CBO optimization. So how many ad sets? When should I close it? When should I touch it? Should I close something? Should I lower my budget and leave the rest and stuff? So CBO optimization is a whole new category and it's very difficult for someone to master. I have a lot of videos on YouTube for free. I have many more in the course and I'm teaching people CBO optimization daily and it's taking a lot of time to master because the different scenarios are countless and you will never know what kind of things you're going to see. Of course, you can see the dominant ad and all of that, but dominant ad set and all of that and follow it. But let me tell you that there are so many different cases and I know it because all these years I must have trained more than 200 people to do this kind of stuff, CBO optimization. This is the thing. They believed that, Meta believed that people cannot do proper budgeting and put the normal budgets. This is actually being proven also right now. In the ABO, there is a new option that it says that it's going to distribute the budget. I'm going to put a print screen. It says that you're going to distribute the budget. It's going to take 20% of the ad sets that are not working really well and maybe put it towards an ad set which is doing better. So for instance, if you have 10 ad sets, all of them spending $10 each, so 100, and one of them is doing better, it's going to take $2 from the other 9 to put it towards the good one, which means that they still have problems with how people are budgeting their ads. The thing about time, which is let your campaign and your ad sets run for a period of time to gather data and start getting some results, is something that they cannot control. They cannot tell you not to touch it. But the budgeting, which is something which is equally bad because more budgets means more data to the ad set, more chances of having a sale, optimizing and all of that. This is something that they can control through these ways of doing CBO or doing the budgeting thing of ABO that I told you, so that they can be able to overcome the fact that people are uneducated on how to budget their campaigns, or maybe they don't know the numbers, that their actual numbers in order to calculate based on their average cost per purchase. So this was the one thing, and this is why the CBO campaigns has been introduced and they started working pretty well, because basically the budget has been distributed like this. Now Meta is trying to do one step further and say that you don't even know how to target properly, so let's let the AI do it. Then we're going to put only creatives, but then there's going to be a period that will say that you don't know how to do creatives, let the AI do creatives, and it's going to be completely automated, I believe, at some point. Okay, so what is the crazy method? So let's say back in the day you were doing a CBO, for example, and you were running and you were doing, in one ad set you were putting the interest parents, in the other one you were putting the interest ball, in the other one interest chicken, in the other one this and that. And you were seeing that out of all of those, one of these interests has been working better. What I have realized is back in the day that when I was running a campaign on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, the results were completely different. It's not like I was having the same results. And then I realized that maybe we're having the formation of hot pockets. I have realized this before because basically I was doing the same ad because I was trying to scale. I didn't know the crazy method to do it with the crazy method. So what I was doing is I was duplicating the same ad set in another campaign with a bigger budget, for example. And I could see that the behavior that they were having, that it was completely different. So I started realizing, and I thought, Yeah, maybe it's because of the randomness of the initial result, who is going to convert first is going to make a different hot pocket based on that, because it's getting the first sale, then it's finding another person based on the sale, another person based on the sale, another person based on the sale. So I started thinking that what if the first person, for example, it's not a parent, but it's someone who wants to become a parent, and he clicked and he bought because he wants to observe a book for when his child is going to be born. And what if, very stupid example, sorry for that, but this is how my mind thinks, okay? I'm really sorry for the example. Let's say that there's a parent that his child died, for example, and this is the book that they were reading together and he wants to buy so that he can remember. He's sadly a parent that his child died and he's not going to buy again, okay? Sorry, but these are things that are happening in reality, okay? So don't get frustrated from my stupid examples. So all of this, it's something that I was thinking that the randomness of the initial result, who is going to convert first in an ad, it's going to form a hot pocket around this, which is going to be formed based on who was this person, what kind of things he likes, in which niche he what is the niche and so on. So the more I was doing that, then I started realizing that, okay, I can do this again with another campaign. And then I ended up having a lot of campaigns, and I said, this has to be, has to become smaller. So what if I take and I do it multiple times inside the CBO, so that the CBO can actually push its ad set with competition to create better hot pockets, and then try also to optimize this. I didn't know at this point how to optimize, but then I started putting it inside, and I was seeing that I was getting better results in all of my accounts. I was able to scale people. It was crazy. That's why it was called the crazy method, because it was unconventional and it didn't make any sense at that point, but it just came out of pure observation that the same ads were behaving in another way when you were relaunching it again, or you were relaunching it another day, or you were putting another budget. Then something happened. I started doing one test with Meta about shop ads back in the day. This was, I believe, after iOS. I was running crazy method all the time until that point. We were talking about hot pockets and stuff. The YouTube channel wasn't existing at that point, and I was just talking with my friend Jonathan about it, and we were saying, yes, it's working. We were scaling. So it was something that it was working. So, and we started also having a perception about optimization. We're doing optimization, learning, trying to understand what happens if we close this. Then we came up with the idea of following the leading ad and all of that. The point is this. After iOS, at some point, I took 1.8 million to spend from Meta, to spend in one ad set in order to gather data to train the algorithm for the shop ads. And then I realized that I was doing broad targeting in the United States, completely broad, with one of my best creatives on the ad account, very stable and good ad account. And basically the full potential reach out of the 200 something million people, it was only 20 million people with a frequency of 8. So I said to myself, okay, this is the proof that I always wanted, that this thing, either Meta is lying about the full potential reach, which I don't believe that it is. I don't believe that it's completely accurate, but I don't believe that they're lying and you can target only 20 million people, which is not even 20 million people. It's less people because the reach is unique per 30 days. So I guess in all of these 8 months, we had an overlap between the people. And we had also the frequency. So then I started realizing that yes, the hot pockets are being created. That's the proof that I always wanted, that over here we're having just such a high spend. 20. Why didn't go and keep spending on more people? Because the initial people that came, they formed a pool that Facebook couldn't go outside of this pool and just start targeting other people, forming other pools. It started with something, it was continuing with the data that it had. And of course, I didn't have the luxury of spending this money in another way to prove more things, but for sure, it was eye-opening for me, because there's no way that I could have 1.8 million to spend in just one ad set with very bad ROAS just for a test of mine. I would have never done it. But it was done with the help of Meta. In a normal, it was conversion ads and all of that. So at this point, I have also the credibility that I want from this, and I have a video posted on how on the crazy method about it, and how I'm proving, at least for me, the theory of the hot pockets. There are some people that they are just saying that the hot pockets don't exist and stuff. It's okay. I'm just saying my opinion and what I'm seeing. So at this point, I was doing crazy method anyway, all the time, and I started even before iOS, far before iOS, doing also broad. Why? Because with the crazy method, I could combat this. Because before iOS, we had laser focus targeting, okay? The more you were doing targeting, the better it was. After iOS, because we lost a lot of data, it was more of broad and all of that, and this is when most people started talking about broad. Because of the crazy method, I was doing broad targeting even from before, because I had this luxury of being able to optimize, even if I don't have proper targeting inside. With my pixel, I was able to go there inside a CBO campaign, and out of luck, out of the pixel, out of randomness of initial result, I would start with broad targeting, and some of the assets were going to work, and these were really powerful because they were working with broad and not with an interest, so you could scale them more, you could keep them for a longer period and all of that. So crazy method with broad was also something that I was using before for bigger scale data accounts, of course, but I was using it many years ago before people started talking about broad targeting. And the other thing is that the whole concept was that the crazy method is just, do I want to have something that is working based on my experience, also spending the 1.8 million just to keep scaling it, and maybe even not scaling it, but not making more money out of it? Or can I attack other hot pockets so that I can be able to, monetize faster the success that I had with this ad? So what I realized with the crazy method was that whatever it was working, it was just going to amplify it. It was just an amplifier. And basically, if you were having one asset which was working, you were putting it in a crazy method and it was working well. What is the crazy method? The crazy method is when you're taking, for example, an asset which is working and you duplicate it 5 times as it is with 0 changes. First of all, we need to clarify that crazy method is CBO. There's no ABO crazy method. You do CBO when you do crazy method. It means multiple assets which are having exactly the same demographics, budget is on CBO level, demographics, whatever, it's the same. And you're putting 3 to 5 ads on the assets, and these are also the same between the assets. So everything is the same. The CBO crazy method, whatever, it's going to be an asset that you duplicate multiple times with the same ads and you run it, and all of the assets and all of the ads are the same. You're doing this and you're trying to go for different hot pockets. You're trying to go for faster spending. You're trying to find other hot pockets within the main audience that they're going to spend. Why? Because of what we said, randomness of the initial result. Because of the randomness of the initial result, maybe there's going to be parents that they will buy a product, and maybe you will find a hot pocket of grandparents because a grandparent first bought, and so on and so on. And it was working very well and stuff until it was working also on that period, but it was working very well. Of course, I mastered CBO optimization, and which is difficult and stuff. And I was also teaching it to people. The big problem with the crazy method, and when I got a little bit disappointed, is when the ASC campaign started, the shopping campaign started, I could see that the shopping campaigns were more stable. Also, the optimization of shopping campaigns with dominant ads on the ad level, it was much easier for people to understand, and it wasn't as complex as the CBO optimization. And then I realized that, okay, maybe it's the end of the crazy method. We're just going to work like this from now on because Meta also wants to focus on the creatives. Wrong, because then Meta came again as a typical party pooper and they changed the UI. Because to be honest with you, I don't care if I was going to do crazy method. I was going to do whatever it was working on their account. So by coming there and doing crazy method, trying to teach to people CB optimization, I was also saying, okay, let it go. Let's run advanced shopping campaigns. People understand them more. They optimize them better. They focus more on the creatives. This is the future and stuff. New UI change. Also, another thing which is really important, CBO wasn't as stable as the single ad set ABO, for example. It wasn't so scalable. So, for example, you could scale more because you had a really dominant ad. You could scale more the ad set. But CBO was a little bit more of a diva, fragile. When you had bad periods and you had to lower budgets, you were losing some of your campaigns, while this wasn't happening with the advanced shopping campaigns. And then we have the new UI that unified everything. You don't have anymore the advanced shopping campaign. It's advanced plus sales, advanced sales campaigns. Now, 2 or 3 things about it. First of all, I'm seeing more and more people talking to me about the crazy method. Is it my friends, freelancers, students? More, which means that they started using it again. Why? Because we don't have the previous setup. We have the setup of CBO. I was using CBO also before, but most of the times it was this. Good trained pixel ad account, advanced shopping campaigns focus on creatives, different angles to avoid the daily loop theory and cannibalization. And in smaller ad accounts, if the broad is not working, you cannot do ASC, advanced shopping campaign. You will have to do broad, and you will have to do interest, you will have to do lookalikes or whatever that may be on a CBO campaign, for example, and try to optimize it and have better results until you train your pixel and go to ASC. That was the story, okay, for 2 years or 3 years now. I don't remember when the ASC was introduced. Now, I'm seeing that people are not working in the style of ASC anymore with one ad set and multiple ads because for some reason, also for me, it's not the same thing. I don't know. It's my feeling. It's not the same as the shopping campaign. The shopping campaign was different. This thing is not the shopping campaign. And I do believe that they have changed something and it's not the same thing. So more and more people are doing now CBO, including me, because I find it working better and it's having better results. Now, is it going to be stable? I doubt it. Is it going to be better than the single? I think yes, because with the new UI and the new changes, maybe a lot of things have also changed. For example, I'm seeing that the cost caps are not working anymore. I don't really know why they are not working, but for sure I can tell you that they stopped spending on some cases. It's not like they are overspending. It's like they are not spending. And this happened, I don't know if it's a coincidence or if it's going to change. This happened after the change of the UI at the start of this summer. And right now I have only 2 other accounts that are left without the new change. And I'm doing more and more CBO crazy method campaigns, and it's working pretty well. Of course, I'm not replacing the old ones. I'm going to keep them for as long as I can, which, by the way, they have converted, okay? They have changed to this style. It's not like the old campaigns when we had conversions. If you remember that you were changing it and it was keeping the conversion campaign style. It wasn't converting to a sales campaign as we have seen. And this is why, for example, you couldn't change budget. I had in one account campaigns coming from 5 years ago, still working pretty well, but I couldn't change budget. I couldn't do anything because they were just conversion ads, and now we have jumped to the sale ads. So it wasn't actually acknowledging that this is a type of campaign that you can create, so you couldn't touch it. You could close it, but if you could close it, then you would regret it, is my opinion, because those have been working much better than any other campaign in that account. Anyway, so I stopped using it in some accounts because CB optimization was difficult, but mostly my main reason of stopping using it, the crazy method, is because it was I forgot something. So we had a transition phase between the shopping campaigns. Initially on the shopping campaigns, you could do, I believe, up to 6 or 8, I believe 8 campaigns, and you couldn't do more per ad account. or per page or per ad account. I believe it was per ad account. So the problem over here is, no, it was for sure per ad account. The problem here, it was that 8 for me, it wasn't enough on the bigger accounts. So I was always telling to the meta reps that you should put more and stuff, and they were telling me no, it's not needed. Then they did it, but until the point that they have introduced you to do unlimited advanced shopping campaigns, and you had only the limit of 8. What I was doing is that I was doing CBO, crazy method stacked lookalikes, at the same time, just for another interest not broad, just put lookalikes stacked, which are a very big audience, 10% stacked lookalikes, which is a very big audience, just because I couldn't run more campaigns. After the liberation of the 8 campaigns of ASC, Advanced Shopping Campaign, and the removal of this limitation, I started doing only advanced shopping campaigns. I was doing a few on new ad account CBO campaigns. So this is why I stopped using it, but now I think that it's going to come back, and I think that we're going to use the crazy method again. Remember, the crazy method is not anything crazy. The whole system around it is I believe, I'm not going to call it a genius system, I will call it a clever system, because the crazy method as a crazy method is just an amplifier. It's basically a cheat. Okay, it's basically you take something that is working and you try to find other hot pockets that they would buy so that you can sell faster, okay, and you can scale. The whole system around the crazy method, though, is what I believe that is really clever, because there's no crazy method without working with average results, without CBO optimization, and without the knowledge of, understanding all of that. So first of all, we have, let's say, for example, the correct way to do it right now, it is have a campaign which is a testing campaign, or create testing campaigns, different ones, with 60, 100, for example, whatever that may be. In these campaigns, try to test if something is working or not. If you find, do 2 or 3 assets, for example. If you find, all of this also depends to your numbers, okay? If your average cost per purchase is 200, maybe you should do testings with 400 and 3 assets, for example, okay? Just to test if something is going to work or not. Just a stupid example again, to explain that there are no blueprints, it's just numbers and cost per purchase and stuff. It has to make sense. So, for example, spend between 60 and 100, put 2, 3 assets, see what kind of results you're getting. If something is selling again and again and getting volume, then move it to a crazy method. What are you having over there? You're having before we go to that, on the crazy method, you're going to do the optimization on CBO optimization. You have my course or some of my videos here to learn how to do it. It's a whole other level of doing ads in a professional way. And then you have average results, because without average results, and this is the problem, most of the times people that they talk about one campaign structure or multiple campaigns, they say, I don't like multiple campaigns because of overlap. They don't understand the whole concept. The whole concept is that we do run our normal campaigns, we find something that is working, we put it on one crazy method, we don't do another crazy method, another crazy method, another crazy method, as people started doing when I posted the crazy method on the internet, starting abusing it. We don't do it to abuse, we do it to scale. So you do a crazy method, and then you can do also cost caps. And then you do this again and again and again. So the whole concept over here is this, that you need to know, and this is what they're missing. They don't know how to work with average results and optimize campaigns. In order to be able to work with multiple campaigns, they also don't understand the concept of different angles, and they just think that they will just take one creative and they're going to scale infinitely, I don't know, there's nothing else to do. So the whole concept is this: I'm having my testing, I'm seeing something that is working. Working means that it has ROAS, but it has also volume. Okay, so I need to see number of sales. If it has only one sale with good ROAS, it doesn't say anything. Also, a lot of times I'm seeing people saying, okay, it didn't work like this, I will run it with crazy method. If something is bad and has shown you bad results, if you run it with crazy method, guess what is going to happen? It's an amplifier. It's going to make the bad results even worse, okay? You're going to see a bigger spend with these bad results. So when you're using the crazy method, you use it with something that it's actually working. Okay, so if it's something working, then you put it in a campaign and then you start your crazy method campaigns. You are optimizing. So you end up having another account which is having some very small spending testing campaigns that they are profitable. So you let them there and you check them with the average results. What's the ultimate goal over there? The average results to be profitable and be able to absorb the new tests that you're going to do. Okay, so the average results over there to be profitable. The second thing that you do is that you go and you check your average results of the optimized crazy method campaigns and you treat it as a whole. If one has 1.7 and the other one has 2.3 and you get 2 in average, you don't touch the 1.7 just to fix it or just to have better ROAS, which means that 99% of the cases, by touching it to have better ROAS, you're going to do it worse. So what you're doing, you're watching the average results also there, and you're having some campaigns that in the meanwhile you're trying to optimize to put them inside the optimized campaigns and watch them with the average results. And then you can do also cost cap, which is something that's going to help you scale a little bit more if they're going to work, because I believe that with the new UI, they're not working so well right now, but we will see about that. I'm not sure. It's just a speculation. So I believe that with the way that we're going to run ads, it's going to be relevant again, and there are going to be more people that are going to run the crazy method with successful ad sets or with stacked lookalikes, as we have seen, or with the blender method and all of that. But we're going to see about that. I do believe that since so many people which are experienced at using it again, friends, students and staff, including me using it again, even on trained accounts, I think that you should consider to start using it in order to see if this is something that's going to help you have better results. Don't forget that you can go and you can check the course for CBO optimization, which is a very difficult thing to do. And I guess that's all for the theory today on how the crazy method was invented, if we want to call it, how I started using it, when we were using it more, why it's relevant again now, and all of this kind of stuff. I believe that because I see it also from my students, that when you work with crazy method and multiple campaigns, you're having a better balance in the ad account as long as you follow all the rules. For example, you don't overdo the crazy method and you do 5 crazy methods with the same creative. It's a problem. You are watching the average results and you learn how to work with average results. If you don't, you have a problem. If you just have one bad day, for example, okay, and you're touching the ad account and the next day you're having good results and you're believing that the good results is because of you, I'm doing a very good exercise with people on 2005. When there's a really bad day coming, I'm telling them, don't touch anything. We're not going to do the call today. I'm going to see you tomorrow. And then I'm seeing them tomorrow and the results are just good. And I tell them that this is the lesson yesterday was this, that if you touch it or not, it's going to have good results anyway, or bad results, no matter what you're going to do. So I'm trying to teach also in a way to understand that the whole game is rigged. We're not influencing 100% of the results. We're trying to do the best that we can with what we have. So that's also important to understand that multiple campaigns means I know what is the crazy method. I know how to do budgeting. What kind of budget should I have with what kind of budget and how many ad sets. I do understand CB optimization average results, as I said, and I'm working like this with different angles. And when I'm having good results, I can scale more with different countries, different products, maybe with better creatives or with creatives with higher influencers that they have a lot of appeal and they can explode brands, or the last thing which I'm doing is I think I haven't mentioned the average results and the whole ecosystem. So if you don't have the knowledge and also understanding the different angles that you are going to have for your different creatives, so that you can be able to scale without having cannibalization and the daily loop theory. all of this together goes as a package, a philosophy that if you don't follow it, then don't even work with multiple campaigns because you're going to fail. But if you want to work with multiple campaigns and scale more from others that they have been having problem to go past 5K, I think that you should go and you should see the whole system, and maybe it's going to make sense to you like it made sense to so many other people, that they started thinking that this makes more sense from one campaign that you're just tossing creatives inside. That's all. Let's go. Before we go to the questions, I would like to talk a little bit about the results. I do feel like this month I'm seeing a higher CPM across accounts, and I'm having the sense that it's not going to be such an easy month. It's going to be a little bit of more of a difficult month. So be careful, watch an eye into your ads. And again, try to work with average results so that you can save some of them. Guys, that's the podcast. I will do another one or two. I will see, depending on availability of personnel, going to vacations and stuff, and depending on my vacation maybe. For sure, we're going to do the next week also, and we will see after that. So I'm going to do another one on two, yeah. We will see. But for sure, I will see you on the next one, which is going to be next week. And then maybe we can decide together if there's going to be another one, or we will talk again on September. This is the end of the first part of the Facebook Ads Breaking News podcast. If you don't want to miss the second half of the podcast, where I'm answering all the remaining questions of the week, visit my Patreon page following the link on the description. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.